What is up, everybody? I've decided to make a community support video tonight. I guess I had a couple requests to do a couple contest entries and a tag video, so I figured I'd just get it all out of the way here and into one video so I don't spam up everybody's YouTube feed. So hopefully no one minds that I just do this into one video like I have been last couple. So the first contest entry I'll talk about is for Doomsday Comics 100 subs. So Doomsday, congratulations. He wanted me to come up with a character and then name it, hero or villain, and then describe the powers and that type of stuff. So, and I guess I get an extra entry if I drew it. So I tried my hand at drawing, and whew, I have actually gotten worse at drawing over the years. I was never good to begin with, but holy crap, I didn't realize how bad I was until I drew this on this nasty old backboard. But I named him Shinobi based on a nickname I had in high school. I'm sorry, I just can't get over how bad this is. So basically, his character, he has enhanced senses, basically, and then he has his sixth sense of telekinesis and telepathy. So basically, he's kind of like more or less Jean Grey type powers, except it extends throughout all his 5 other senses too, if that makes sense. So this would be a hero. And I think a lot of the reason I made him a hero is just because, if I had those type of powers, I would struggle with trying to control them. And, like, for instance, just if imagine if your sense of touch was heightened, just, your clothes would make you all itchy all the time, and you'd just be uncomfortable around all kinds of people, not to mention the sense of smell around people and that stuff. And of course, just having, the control of thoughts and telepathy on top of that, you'd just be like a walking wrecking ball after a little while. So if I was writing this type of character, I would make him a good guy. That way, just the story of him overcoming all the, the basically mutant powers, I guess we can just call them at this point. So just him trying to overcome the challenges that his powers possess, and harnessing those into fighting the bad guys would be a very intriguing story. And I gave him this nice bow staff just because I figured, about every comic book story has that story where the hero's depowered. So I didn't want him just to be a scrub. If he has his powers taken away, he's effective with weapons too. And, basically because I like Buffy and I like Spike from Buffy, he got a sweet duster too. So, and putting the duster on me so he didn't have to draw all of his legs. So that was very helpful. So, I guess I life filled with that, if you will. So, yeah, we'll either go in the garbage, I guess, when we're done, or I might just put it in the contest box as a joke. We'll see. So, yeah, there's that. So, hopefully, Doomsday, you enjoyed that. Actually took a little bit longer to come up with that than I thought. I've always kind of joked around and, thought of, new heroes and characters, but I've never really put anything into writing or anything. So, yeah, it seemed simple at first, but it was actually kind of complex and thought-provoking after I did the challenge. So, good challenge idea, Doomsday. I enjoyed it. Next up, Comics with Bueller is at 300 subs, so congratulations on that, Bueller. And for that, he wants me to talk about my favorite 80s movie and my favorite Todd McFarlane cover. So, I always try to be a little bit different with my selections, but when it comes to Todd McFarlane and his covers, I can't not pick this one. I mean, come on. Like, Hulk 340, I just remember reading Wizard in like 93, 94 when I was a kid, and, seeing this on like their Hot 100 must-have comics or whatever, and just their value to comics. Like, I knew I had to have this book one day. There was really no other comic cover for me that, like, I needed that comic because of that cover. This is probably like the sole exception to that. Of course, some Amazing Spider-Man 300 would be one I would show if I had it. In my opinion, that's kind of a tie with this one. But yeah, this cover, I'm so glad to, within the last 6 months, found this at like almost, well, not cover price, but I guess cover price for a book now. And I got signed by Peter David to distract from that stupid spot I put on there, which maybe one day I'll go into detail about that. Basically, oh good, I threw it away all there already. Those like white smart sponges or whatever, don't use those. Just don't. But anyway, this is my top pick for a McFarlane cover. In my opinion, it doesn't get any better than this. And then, like I said, sometimes I try to be a little different, going outside the norm in my selections if I get into these situations. So I've decided to pick for my favorite 80s movie. At least, I could probably argue something else on next week. I have picked a little gem called Death Wish 3. So basically, if you guys like just cheesy, goofy action, that, you know, you can just kind of turn your brain off and enjoy an action movie. Or if you just want to put in a movie and get together with your friends and have a few drinks, this is the perfect movie for that. This stars Charles Bronson. It is most Bronson-y, I guess. I'm pretty sure in this movie they didn't do more than like 1 to 3 takes per scene. Like one, I mean, 3 if you're lucky. There's some questionable takes in this movie. The sets are dirt cheap because it is a Canon film. I don't know how much you guys know about Canon movies in the 80s, but they got super cheap in the mid 80s, and this is a prime example of a Canon Film Group's movie. And then also Jimmy Page does do the soundtrack on this. You know, famous guitarist, and oh my god, I think he just watched the movie and did his work in one take as well. There's some like fart noise, like guitar riffs going on. That's the best way I can describe them. So if you just want to have a good, fun time watching a movie, not have to think about anything at all, check this out. Just, you know, if you get nothing else from this video, at least just, if you can find this for like a free watch or maybe rent it for $1, just check this out. It's a funny action movie. Otherwise, if I was picking like, I guess another serious movie, I'd probably say anything with Arnie in it. Well, I guess he's not serious either. He's kind of the same way as this, but Commando, Predator, Total Recall. I mean, Arnie in the 80s, you can't beat Schwarzenegger. So I guess if I didn't pick this, I would have picked one of those two. All right, let me get my last little bit of information on my iPad down here. So I also got tagged in a tag video by comicbags22. I believe it was his 2nd or 3rd video. He's just a kid starting out on YouTube, and he's already putting stuff in My Lights 2 and full backs and all that. He's already got Bronze Age, like X-Men he's showing on, or Batman on his videos. I'm like, man, I wish I had all that stuff when I was his age. I don't know how old he is, but I think he's under 18, so keep doing what you're doing, kid. I would have been having a blast getting those X-Men and Batman books as a kid. Well, maybe I'm just making up X-Men because I have a bunch of X-Men. But anyway, his tag was basically pick a character or book you like and show 5 covers of that character or from that book. So I picked X-Men. Well, hopefully, you know, you don't care. I know that's kind of more, I kind of tried to keep it within the uncanny line at least, so it's in one book. But nonetheless, I figured I'll show 5 books and see what happens here. So I'm just going to go and like from newest to oldest, I suppose. So the first one I picked was this beautiful Alex Ross Uncanny X-Men 500, and his signature is actually right there on it. And this is a book I see hardly anywhere. This is a Dynamic Forces variant, which he also did one of the regular covers, which I just happen to have in the same bag for some reason. Also signed by Alex Ross, but I think this one in particular I've always just really liked for some reason. And like I said, it's just I've never really, I don't know how much it's worth, if it's even worth anything more than, you know, the couple dollar cover price on it. Not that I really care, it's going to stay in my collection either way, but just not a cover I've seen every day, so I figured I'd feature it just in case there's a couple people out there who have not seen it either. So there's that. Next up, I had to pick something from the John Cassaday, Joss Whedon Astonishing X-Men run, so I decided to go with Astonishing X-Men number 21. This is the only non-uncanny book I believe I've picked. I really enjoyed these, like during the last little third of the Astonishing line that Joss Whedon did. John Cassaday did like a character variant for every one of those, and I don't know why these are only like worth $1 a piece. I think they're some of the best X-Men covers I've seen. So here I picked the Emma Frost one because I think that's the best one. Probably close runner-up would be a Kitty Pryde. I think I got that one back there too, of course. And I think I actually got all these signed by John Cassaday as well. And just because I have it right in front of me, I'll show you guys the Beast version of that too. Also, there's the signature there. But yeah, I think this is probably my personal favorite of the whole Astonishing X-Men line. I also have that first issue, the variant where the whole team's on there. That I almost pulled that one out, but I decided to go with this instead because I feel like these individual character variants don't get enough credit. I think they're absolutely awesome. Next up, I got Uncanny X-Men 268. I kind of had to pick this one because Metarog picked this to describe me and his subscriber appreciation. So I just wanted to show him, I guess I had a signed copy of this book. I've actually got a Claremont signature right up there. And like I said, this is an absolutely iconic cover. I thought I had this signed by Jim Lee too, but maybe I'll correct that. So I had to pick at least one Jim Lee cover as well. So I think this is my favorite of all of the Jim Lee X-Men stuff he did. So, I mean, you got Wolverine, Black Widow, and Captain America. You're not going to beat that team. I mean, come on. Next up, I got a little bit of Bronze Age. So I got Uncanny 142, also signed by Chris Claremont. He usually signs on the title for some reason. I guess that's as good as anywhere. This issue, Everybody Dies. Oh, it's a newsstand. I didn't even really notice that till now. I would have picked the other one, but I got it right up here above me, and I didn't want to take it off the wall. And I just happened to have this one in a Mylar bag, so I figured, give you a nice Mylar shine too. But yeah, this, Days of Future Past, amazing run. Had to pick it, so there's that. My last one, I just got about within the last 6 months too. It's another book I always wanted. X-Men number 50. That awesome Steranko cover. Like I said, I kind of really want to get this signed one day, but I don't know if I want to cuff up the $20 or $40, however much Steranko is charging per signature now. But I think this is, in terms of Steranko's work, his best cover I've seen, besides the Nick Fury Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. one. But this is probably a very close first, if not second, for me. And got Polaris on there. I actually ended up getting all three of the Steranko X-Men covers finally. I got my other one not too long ago. So yeah, I think this is my favorite of the Silver Age X-Men covers if I had to pick one, I suppose. I probably would have picked a couple other ones, but I don't have them yet, so maybe one day when I'm older, and they're just going to go up in price though, I think. Alright, so since that was a tag, I am obligated to pick a few more people to tag, so I don't know if there's like a limit or a minimum, so I just picked 4 people. So Who Dat Comics and Movies, I'm tagging you, kind of returning the favor from that time you tagged me. So we'll go ahead and tag you. Mr. D, I haven't seen a video from you for a second, and I saw you commenting the other day, so I figured, hey, why not tag Mr. D and see what covers and character he wants to pick and all that good stuff. If you guys haven't seen his stuff, he did a pretty cool video about Jenny Frizen, which I'm also a pretty good fan of. I'm hoping to get something from her this weekend. We'll see. In terms of commission work, and I'm definitely going to get some stuff signed. So, and then I think he did an Adi Granov video as well. So he's got a good taste for artists and covers, so I'm curious to see if he does this and picks 5 nice covers. And then I'm just going to go ahead and pick Comics with Bueller. Since I was talking about you early in the video, I was like, hey, why not tag Bueller? I got him on the mind about his contest. And then Poor Man's Comics, I will tag you before you make that trip to C2E2. I want to see your 5 covers as well if you actually do end up watching this. So there are my tags. So hopefully comicbags22 enjoyed that. My last note for the day, of course, I'll remind you guys, yesterday I started the 100 sub contest, so I'll leave this in the link below if you guys are interested in that and somehow didn't hear about it already. I just want to give a special thanks to Alex, the Comic Hoarder. He did a live stream yesterday and actually shouted me out a few times, specifically telling everybody to do this contest as well, so that actually meant a lot to me, Alex, so thank you for that. And then there's also, you guys can do snups if you don't want to actually make a video. So like I said in my last video, that's how I kind of started, just showing books on snups instead of making videos. So I figured it'd be a nice little tribute to the way I started, to use snups for people to be able to show their books. That way they don't have to feel like they're pressured into making a video to actually have to enter one of these contests. So other than that, thank you guys for watching and have a wonderful night.